Start.
You are listening to Alpha Geek Radio.
The following is a production of Galactic Netcasts.
Do you see what I see? Fire in the sky. UFO abduction. Please don't wait on me. I'm not 1 million. This has got to be a dream. You crazy kid. There ain't no such thing as an alien.
Welcome to the Alien Invasion number 186, a production of Galactic Netcasts. I'm Dave Nelson. Joining me as always, Brad Ludwig and Anessa Moyens. Hello, you two.
Hello.
Hello.
We were off for a couple of weeks, but we're back.
Woohoo.
What'd you guys do on the 2 weeks off?
Went to Disney World. Not really.
But no. First, you won the Super Bowl, and then you went. To
And then we went to Disney World. Sorry, I forgot about the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl really wasn't that super.
It's been a busy couple of weeks for you guys.
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay, so I want to thank Monkey Warhol for our intro. They are an electronic musician. I think it's a he, from Minneapolis, who provided our new music to start the show. So thank you. And you can find that song and others by the group at soundcloud.com/Monkey Warhol. And this is the show where we talk about beings from elsewhere in the universe and their appearances in film, TV, video games, comic books, science, and real life. And the show is divided into 3 sections: the news, the sightings feature, and our picks of the week. So let's start with the news.
In the news.
Bam, Anessa, what do you got?
If you're looking for something to do within the next few weeks, months, within the next year, I have found a list of the country's top UFO festivals.
Woohoo.
Woohoo! So it's been nearly 70 years since an unidentified flying object crashed into a ranch near Roswell, New Mexico. The debate rages on today as thousands of UFO advocates attend festivals to meet up with like-minded theorists. So the first festival that we have is called Contact in the Desert, taking place June 3rd through 6th, which just finished up, in Joshua Tree, California. This is a weekend of exploration into extraterrestrial life, ancient aliens, human origins, crop circles, UFO sightings, contact experiences, and the, quote, need to know, unquote. It features a panel of speakers, movies after dark, night vision experiences, and contact training in the field. Ooh, I'm kind of intrigued by this contact training in the field.
Ooh, are they going to do like what if scenarios? Like a group of people go out to the field and they kind of do a play acting what would happen if like a UFO came down, that kind of thing?
I'm kind of wondering if they have like a practice run or something. I also wonder if they really talk about maybe pointers of how to record your experiences.
Yeah.
In the least shakiest way possible.
We've talked about this before on this podcast about how people should know how to properly capture footage of a UFO.
Yeah, I had found an article that was like, hey, this is what you should do in the event that you encounter a UFO and would like to capture it. So one thing is not jump up and down while you're holding the camera.
Not capture the UFO.
Just video or photograph.
Yeah.
Capture on film or in a digital format, as it were. So the next one that we have on the list is the Roswell UFO Festival, which I think, Dave, you had mentioned you had been to before?
I have, yes.
Sweet. So it's been attended by more than 7,000 people annually, and it goes from June 30th through July 3rd. So if you happen to be in the southwestern part of the United States around that time, go check it out. Let us know how it goes. And it features a parade, alien costume contest, speakers and authors, live entertainment, and family activities.
Can I interrupt?
Sure.
On a side note, the parade when we were there was on only one lane of this on the road, and this is the one and only time that I've seen parades with only one lane. So on the other side, it's regular traffic, but on the other lane, it's the parade.
That's kind of surprising to me that they didn't close down, even just like, say, 5 or 6 blocks for a half hour or an hour rather. Setup, takedown, all that good stuff. So, on a July 1947 evening, if you weren't familiar with the Roswell incident, a mysterious disc-shaped object fell upon a ranch 30 miles north of Roswell, and the town has become a mecca for UFO followers since. Roswell Army Airfield issued a statement claiming to have recovered a crashed flying disc, but changed its story to call it a weather balloon in a front-page article in the Roswell Daily Record. And then we have the Utah UFO Festival. That is in Cedar City, Utah. And that is the inaugural Utah UFO Festival, which is going to take place June 17th through the 18th. So that's pretty close from now. And it will feature lectures from experts on UFO topics, a history of UFO sightings in the Utah and Nevada area, and speakers who claim to have been abducted by aliens, including Travis Walton, who inspired the film Fire in the Sky. The festival is the brain trust of brothers Joseph and Nathan Cowlishaw, who founded Anomaly Conservatory in 1914 with the mission of changing the social stigma surrounding UFOs and answering the burning question, are we alone in the universe? Whether you believe or not, it's okay to open your mind to the possibilities, Nathan says. I have had 3 sightings or close encounters since 2013. I grew up going out into the hills of southern Utah as a young LDS kid. Having a few of those experiences makes people like me obsessive to find the truth. Cowlishaw says he wants to nurture UFO folklore that has become so ingrained in Southwestern culture. It's part of our history, and we believe human beings need to start watching the skies more, he says. The festival includes a tour of Area 51 and the Extraterrestrial Highway in Nevada.
What? Area 51 tour? That makes no sense.
Well, I'm trying to think of where in Nevada Area 51 and how far it is from Utah, because they are kind of neighbors.
Well, okay. I looked up the Cedar City where this festival is, and it's right in the southwest corner, right next to Nevada, and Las Vegas, somewhat close. And Las Vegas is pretty close to Area 51, too.
Yep. So that would make sense. All right. And next we have the International UFO Congress, scheduled for February 17th through the 19th in 2017 in Fountain Hills, Arizona. This event holds the Guinness World Record for largest UFO convention. Activities include a film festival, experience sessions, sightings, visitation, or abduction, night vision skywatch, and a cocktail party. I kind of want to go to that. Not gonna lie.
Well, it's got a cocktail party after all. Come
Night
on.
vision skywatch and a cocktail party. That's right up my alley. And UFO talk. So next we have McNamins.
I think it needs a rebranding.
McMenamins. There we go. McMenamins UFO Festival. Every May since 1999, UFO enthusiasts have descended upon the quiet Willamette Valley town of McMinnville, about an hour from Portland, Oregon, to attend the festival that's second only to Roswell's popularity.
Whoa.
About a month before the legendary Roswell crash, pilot Kenneth Arnold claimed to have seen a fleet of silvery objects flying near Mount Rainier. 3 years later, Evelyn and Paul Trent of McMinnville snapped what they are widely considered to be the most credible photos of flying saucers. This festival boasts Ground Zero radio show, a parade, alien pet costume contest, live music, fun run, breakfast and luncheon speakers, and specially brewed Alienator Ale.
Ooh,
And we are totally taking Furlock to that, and he's dressing up as a UFO.
alienator.
Yes,
And he will hate me for the rest of his little kitty life.
probably.
I wonder if their parade is on both sides of the street.
That's a good question. I'll have to Google that and see if we can find some video footage. Surely someone has looked it up or like recorded it and posted a little snippet to YouTube. So we'll see.
And finally,
on the list, we have Massachusetts UFO Festival. Commemorate the nation's first UFO incident to be inducted as factual history on August 6th in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, which was affirmed by a citation signed by the governor of Massachusetts on November 3rd, 2015. The original Star Child Skull artifact will be on display for the first time on the East Coast, and festival goers can have their picture taken at the 5,000-pound monument dedicated to a 1969 UFO sighting in Sheffield, Massachusetts. And that was by Hubble Ray Smith, which is actually kind of a cool first name, I gotta say.
so okay.
And yep.
Is it, you done?
I'm done. I was gonna say I just found that on Vegas7.com.
Okay. I wanted to ask you before we move on.
Hello? Is Dave still there?
Dave's not here, man.
Dave's not here, man. It's like suddenly it disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Is he on the video at all?
Nope.
Hmm.
He's frozen.
Oh noes. Oh, wait. There's an Area 51 family restaurant.
Nice.
In Bancroft, Wisconsin.
Oh. Well, we may have to check that out.
I was going to say, I was trying to find the distance from Area 51 to Cedar, I forget, Cedar Hill, Utah. And Google automatically just assumed that I was going to drive a couple thousand miles to Wisconsin.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
That's okay.
What was your answer? Did you hear my question?
All I heard was I was going to ask you, and that was it.
Of all these festivals, which one would you guys like to go see?
I'm going to go with the International UFO Festival, although the McMiniman's UFO Festival is a close second just because pet costume contest. I feel like I'd be going to these for all the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I'd want to go to Roswell.
But you have to enjoy yourself. So, you know.
You do. And you got to have fun. Talk about things that you're interested in and just enjoy the trip. So, yeah.
Word.
All right. We have another story here. But before we get into that, follow us on Twitter. Join our Facebook or like us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch our shows later by searching Galactic Netcasts on all those social networks, or check out our website, GNcasts, that's GNCASTS.com, and click on the social icons in the upper right-hand corner of every single damn page and follow what we do. We'd love to have you along for the ride. So
I gotta say, while you were away, I had tried to find out how far it was from the conference or convention in Utah to Area 51. And it gave me directions from Utah to a restaurant called Area 51 in Bancroft, Wisconsin.
Oh.
And I'm looking at their menu and I'm kind of disappointed. I feel like there was a lot of opportunity here and they didn't take advantage of it. Because I was expecting, you know, like space or alien themed menus, like dishes, I should say. And no, you've got meatloaf and beef liver.
Well, you know, at least
breaded shrimp.
At least take your normal foods and make clever, silly, you know, names for them based on alien-related stuff.
And that's what I was expecting. I was, you know, I don't know, expecting alien-themed names. Like they don't have to do anything special with the dishes, but yeah, I was kind of disappointed.
Well, step
Like-
up the game, folks. Come on.
Alien veggie melt or something, or
Close encounter chili.
yeah, xenomorph cheesesteak or something.
Roswell, rigatoni.
Right. But no, it's just cheeseburger, fettuccine Alfredo.
Okay, well, let's start an online campaign to put pressure on these folks to step up their
Dear
game.
Area 51.
Yeah.
Bancroft, Wisconsin. Because when I saw it, we're like, oh, maybe we'll go there and check it out. Yeah, no, totally not what I was expecting at all.
All right, so there was this British TV series, well, a series of series throughout the early 1950s until just like 10 years ago called Quatermass or Quatermass. And it's going to be returning to TV courtesy of BBC America.
Neat.
There we go.
Yeah, the character, a genius scientist who battles alien forces, first appeared in the BBC's 1953 serial. How do you pronounce it again, Brad?
Quatermass
Experiment. He's since gone on to appear in numerous TV and film projects, most notably in 1979. Spoiler alert, that's my pick tonight.
What?
Yeah.
Now I don't even want to listen to the show anymore. I know it's coming.
Womp womp.
Now, according to Variety, BBC America is revisiting the character for a new series written by the League of Gentlemen.
Assassins.
Is that League of Extraordinary Gentlemen's Jeremy Dyson? Possibly. It just says the League of Gentlemen.
No, I think that there is. Hang on. I think that there is a.
Yeah, there is a League of Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's completely different than the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, because if I recall correctly, the League of Gentlemen is a sketch comedy show.
Actually, there
What?
was a what the is his name?
Brad almost swore.
They did a Quatermass show, excuse me, a special
The last.
recently.
Are you talking about the one in 10 years ago? It was a stage play. It was, I believe, BBC Radio.
No, this is something that was actually. And the reason why I pinged my memory is because the man who played Dr. Jekyll in League of Extraordinary Gentlemen played Quatermass in this, and it was written by Mark Gatiss.
Okay. He's a Doctor Who
Sherlock.
writer, right? Mark Gatiss.
Yes.
Doesn't he do Doctor Who? Or not?
Yes, he
Doctor
does
Who and
all
Sherlock.
sorts of stuff.
Yeah. Real quick, as you're researching that, Brad.
It was 2005 live remake that they did.
Yeah, this is the one I was about to say it. The last Quatermass outing was in 2005 with Jason Fleming playing the professor for a live BBC 4 staging, which also starred David Tennant of Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the new Quatermass, BBC America has also ordered Trip, a new series based on the Chinese novel Journey to the West, previously adapted as the classic 70s series Monkey. Finally, the producers of Orphan Black will reunite with the broadcaster for Memoria, a new drama about a man who finds his own memories in conflict with recorded evidence. So it sounds like BBC America is really, speaking of stepping up their game when it comes to their original produced shows.
Nice.
So I'm very excited about Quatermass, especially after seeing it today, because I imagine the new interpretation of it is going to be so awesome, because the 1979 one, not so much. It was very 1979-ish, if you know what I mean. It was very 1979, very British TV 1979. If you kind of put your mind back to stuff that you've seen around that time, especially like the Doctor Who stuff, you'll kind of get a feeling for what that. I don't. It was a show, but it wasn't a regular series. It was just. I think it was a very limited series, what they would call it. But more on Quatermass during my pick. But that's my story. Quatermass coming to BBC America, and so far no other details as to when it's going to go into production, when the air date is, etc. All right. Hey, you know what? I have the wrong information here. I was going to paste in some new stuff to talk about between our news stories. So I'm going to wing it real quick. So wish me luck here. I'm winging.
Okay.
Hold your breath. Here comes David. Okay, we have things that we have to pay for every month, such as web hosting and audio hosting. And you can help us out by going to gncasts.com/support. gncasts.com/support. And if you go to that page, it'll kind of break down for you in exact numbers what we have to pay for and how you can help. One of the ways that you can help is by doing a reoccurring donation every month through Patreon, or there's also a link to our Amazon affiliate page where you can find things that we've recommended before. Or if you just click on that affiliate link, you can do a search for whatever you want on Amazon, and a little chunk comes back to us. About 3% of every purchase comes back to us. So please consider those options and help out Galactic Nutcasts do what we do, because that would be awesome. Okay, so third and final story. Brad, what do you got?
I have a bit of science. Science! And this comes to us from sciencealert.com. Physicists think they know what Planet 9 is, an exoplanet stolen from another star.
It's not Nibiru?
No.
It's not Planet X.
Well, Planet X or Planet 9. Everything about Planet 9 is weird. There's the fact that something 10 times more massive than Earth and 4 times its size might have been lurking on the outer edges of our solar system this whole time, and we've only just noticed it. And what about its super elongated orbit, which appears to take an incredible 10 to 20,000 years to complete? But forget all that. We don't even know if it even exists yet. The good news is scientists are finally narrowing in on this shady character, and a new study suggests something pretty extraordinary. Planet 9 is actually an exoplanet from a neighboring planetary system that our sun stole from another star.
Damn dirty sun.
It's almost ironic that while astronomers often find exoplanets hundreds of light years away in other solar systems, there's probably one hiding in our own backyard, says astronomer Alexander Mustel from Lund University in Sweden. We're talking 149 billion or so kilometers away from the sun here, or something 75 times more distant than Pluto. The evidence is based on the strange alignment of rocky objects in the Kuiper Belt, called the Kuiper Belt objects, way out there, which seems to suggest that some kind of massive cosmic body is exerting a very strong gravitational force on them. We've had the vague possibility that of that massive cosmic body being a secret planet, but because it is so far away from us, scientists are still trying to figure out how to get some kind of spacecraft out there to take a look. The team suggested that Planet 9 was actually formed around another star, not our own sun, and it was captured by our own solar system during a close encounter some 4.5 billion years ago, just like it might have stolen mini-planet Sedna away. With that hypothesis in mind, Mustel and his team ran the scenario through a number of computer simulations of encounters between our solar system and another planetary system, and found that for systems with a wide orbit planet, the likelihood that it would be captured by our sun was about 50%. But as Shannon Hall reports in New Scientist, we can't get too excited about those odds just yet. Those are pretty good odds, but they dropped when the team took into account whether the passing planetary system would have a wide orbit planet in the first place. Also, it wasn't enough to just capture a planet. Their simulations only worked if they captured one that was exactly like Planet 9. Overall, Mustel and his colleagues think the chance that Planet 9 is an exoplanet ranges from 0.1 to 2%. The probability of Planet 9 being an exoplanet is up to 300 times higher than its existence in the solar system being down to random chance. So it's all about perspective, really. Of course, this is all just informed speculation and nothing has been physically confirmed yet, so we have to keep a cool head about this for now until we can get a probe all the way out there and possibly snap some images. But if it ends up being a planet from another system, that's going to be incredible. This is the only exoplanet we have realistically would be this is the only exoplanet that we realistically would be able to reach using a space probe. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, that's stretching it though when you say it that way. Like,
Yeah.
it's not really an exoplanet.
Could it be? Well, maybe. You know, and the other thing of interest here is when they ran the numbers, it had to be Planet 9. It had to be, you know, an exact mass. It had to be that planet. So that kind of makes me wonder if they did the numbers, but they, you know, they had the focus limited to being this thing, and they made the numbers work around it. You know, whether that's intentional or subconscious, whatever. But you know, it just kind of gives me pause to think about that.
So you're saying that?
I'm saying that I think unintentionally they created this simulation to work with a Planet 9. That they're
Okay. Gotcha. Understood.
and I don't think it was necessarily, you know, intentional, but if you want something bad enough, sometimes subconsciously you make it happen. So
What does our astronomy expert have to say on this?
I like turtles.
see,
That sounds about right.
I think pretty much everything that I had really thought Brad has said. But no, it'll be interesting to actually learn more. And I'm curious, like, if we were able to capture a stray exoplanet, like what happened to its system that would cause it to get kicked out of its orbit?
well, it sounded like reading that it was a planet that was far out in its own solar system, and as they pass by, the gravitational pull of whatever pulled it into our system.
So
Yeah, and I'm sure at one time in the history of this part of space, another solar system was closer or may have come closer to ours. You know, because I mean,
we're always moving.
yeah, we're always moving, and it's billions and billions of years.
Yeah. So, but even then, like, I'm just curious at what point and how close we were to the other place in order to, like, tug this planet away. Like, hey,
Word.
we're just going to be taking this now. Thanks.
All right.
Goodbye.
On that note, let's move on, shall we? Let's do this thing.
Please identify the craft you witnessed.
Black, triangular, three-dimensional shape, huge, just flying, hovering mimic.
Shaped like almost like between an egg and like a teardrop.
Two long cylinder objects flying over me.
We had a zone. I could see the occupants in
It
it.
appeared to be rotating, and it was circular to disc shape, and it hovered for maybe about 5 minutes.
All right, time for sightings. These are actual real-life people seeing things that might be alien spacecraft on our own planet. And it looks like Anessa dug something up for this week.
I did. So a pilot recalls encounter with low-flying rectangle UFO.
Ooh.
A Virginia witness at Sumerduck recalled a rectangle-shaped UFO hovering 200 feet over a car dealership during a 1993 incident. According to testimony in case numbers 76664 from the Mutual UFO Network, MUFON, witnesses reporting database. The sighting occurred at the intersection of US 17 and County Route 634 at 2:24 a.m. on November 25th, 1993. I was returning home from the Thanksgiving holiday weekend in Maryland with my wife, the witness stated.
My
we
wife.
lived about... Huh?
No, I'm sorry. I was doing my wife.
Oh. Borat.
Borat, thank you.
So in case people don't know what Dave's doing, he's doing his Borat impression.
Anytime anybody says my wife, I repeat, my wife.
Seems legit.
Okay, continue.
All right. So we lived about 1.3 miles from this intersection. The lights hovered for about 2 minutes as we stopped to observe them. Then they slowly moved northeast and disappeared from sight in another 2 minutes. The witness is a private pilot and stated he had never seen anything like this before. We were about 100 feet to the west of the dealership while observing this. Both my wife and I heard no sounds emanating from the craft. While approaching the intersection in a southeast direction, our initial thought was that it was helicopters from Quantico Marine Base, but that was very quickly dismissed as there were no sounds coming from the object, and it was way too big to be a helicopter. Both my wife and I have the hairs on our bodies standing straight up during the incident. The rectangular light pattern was approximately 40 feet by 80 feet. The light pattern did not change during the whole incident. Virginia field investigator Victor B. Rodriguez is investigating. Sumerduck is a rural village located equidistant between Fredericksburg, Culpeper, and Warrenton in Fauquier.
Sorry?
Come on, you dirty mouth.
Fauquier County, Virginia. I don't know how it's pronounced, but it could be French. So, yeah, and of course, this is something that you can find on MUFON and on Open Minds is where I came across it. So, MUFON. But no, I thought it was kind of interesting that I like hearing input from pilots and people that are familiar with aircraft, because to me, they seem like they would not to dismiss or poo-poo anybody else's sightings, but to me they seem like they'd be a little more logical, like they'd be familiar with aircraft and what they typically do, the sounds that they make. So yeah, but anyway.
All right, interesting. Are we a balloon from the maybe a car sale that the car dealership was having? Maybe one of those guys with the arms that move around crazily.
The wavy arm man. He was very tall that day, and they're like, "Oh, we got to turn the fan down a notch. Take it down a notch." Woo!
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much, Anessa. And by the way, if you guys listening have an encounter or know of somebody who encountered what could be a UFO, what could be a flying saucer of some kind, let us know. Give it to us. Give it to us. aliens@gncasts.com, or call our voicemail number and recite your story to us. It's 805-328-3966, 805-328-3966, 805-328-3966. And for more on this podcast, including show notes, contact info, and subscription links, go to gncasts.com. That's GNCASTS.com/aliens. All right, time for our picks and warnings. These are things that we have chose to take into our senses for entertainment purposes that have something to do with aliens or extraterrestrials. Brad, you're first.
I am first. Ha ha! All right.
Okay.
I decided to check out something on Netflix that is called Halo, The Fall of Reach. Now, for those of you who are in the know, Halo is a game series that has been kind of a mainstay of Xbox 360. And it's the first game. Back in my day, you didn't need dual sticks to control a character and shoot guns and stuff. So this was kind of the first game system where I had to use dual joysticks to control a character and move around and shoot my gun. And it was definitely an interesting learning experience. And now I think nothing of it. I'm playing Fallout 4 currently, like that. So it's old hat now. What's really interesting about this is this gives us finally what's the best way to, it gives us insight into the Halo mythology. It gives us insight into how these super soldiers were created. To give you a basic rundown here, oh, whoops. Hang on.
We're hanging.
Dang it. There we go. That's what I wanted. This is the animated series adapted from the original book, Halo, The Fall of Reach, and it's an explanation of the backstory and the shaping of the creation of Spartan 117, the Master Chief. This is all CGI, and it tells the story of scientists who are concerned about the future of mankind and impending alien invasion, and creating a military of the future which can handle that. What they ended up doing is they managed to find children that met a specific profile, a genetic and mental profile. What they ended up doing is kidnapping the children and replacing them with clones that only live for a short period of time. So a lot of children died all at around the same time. And these children were trained nonstop in military fashion, in tactics, in weapons usage, and so on. And then they got to a point where they had to do kind of the one of the final bits, and that was modify their bodies. And very few of them survived this.
Except for
our Master Chief character, he survived, as did a few others. But yeah, it massive body count at that point. And then they continue on with the story. I don't want to give too much else away. So this gives us a wonderful insight into why the Halo universe is what it is, how Master Chief came to be the character that we've known and played for so long. And it is, like I said, based on a book. There's actually a series of Halo novels.
Yeah, I've seen them before in the bookstore.
Yeah. I believe that they're all published by Del Rey, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So
the Halo universe has expanded quite a bit.
Yes, it has. And I've only played 2, and just for a little while. But based on the graphics and what little interaction that I had with the worlds, I saw a lot of possibility and interesting bits. And after I watched this, I dug a little bit more into it, and there's a lot, and it seems pretty robust. And quite honestly, I think I would actually pick up the books and dig into that world a bit more. So There you go. My pick is currently on Netflix, and it is called Halo: The Fall of Reach.
All right. Thank you, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how many flying saucers going to give it?
Oh, I will give it 3.5 flying saucers.
All right. It's a nice, healthy number. It's good. My pick is Quatermass. I mentioned it earlier. Yes. If you were paying attention, you would have known that. I said spoiler.
What?
Quatermass is one of the adaptations of the original story that was first broadcast on BBC back in the early 1950s. I was talking to our friend Daryl Johnston, and he actually has memories as a child of being freaked out by Quatermass, like watching it on the TV, like the old like black and white Quatermass stories, because I think it was like a serial. I think it was told over a number of episodes. This is kind of the same way, but I think it was I don't know the broadcast history of it, and I don't know exactly what the length was. I found this because I was curious. I found that news story. I'm like, I'd like to experience the Quatermass experience a little bit before I, because since we're talking about it, and I'm not exactly sure how long this was. It took me most of the afternoon to get through it, but I paused it once in a while. I went to the kitchen or I went upstairs or, but it was in a YouTube playlist, and we'll put the link in the show notes, and you can watch. Each piece is like about 7 minutes long, and it's in sections, so you don't have to watch the whole thing all at once. I think it was like a limited series of some kind back in 1979, and it didn't, as far as I can tell, it didn't really have as much of a popularity as they were hoping it. Like, it wasn't a commercial success, but it has gone on since then to become a cult classic, a cult favorite among science fiction fans. So here's the brief synopsis. In the final years of the 20th century, civilization all over the world is rapidly collapsing, leaving war and anarchy in its place. Despite the worldwide economic depression, the USA and USSR are locked in a costly space race, squandering billions and wasting their precious resources on pointless projects. Meanwhile, the world collapse has turned Britain into a dangerous, financially and morally bankrupt failed state. In the midst of all the chaos, the now retired Professor Quatermass arrives back in London from his country retreat. He's been invited to appear on a British TV show that will celebrate the launch of a joint US-Soviet space mission. But the old scientist is horrified to find the London streets scarred by decay, lawlessness, and gang warfare. And the unprepared professor soon finds himself in great danger. So there's the synopsis. Doesn't really say much, and I don't really want to say much either. Just a couple of things. And I mentioned this before briefly, that it's got a very late 1970s, very British feel to it. And they try to do like a dystopian future, but it's very much set back in that time. Like, one of the aspects of the show is this group of planet people. It's like a cult who are drawn to these places on the Earth where they are supposed to go because they believe that they're being taken away to a planet somewhere else in the galaxy. And they're very like commune 1960s hippies. So that's what I mean by saying it's very in its day. It's got that a reflection of what was going on, because 1979 there were still hippies running around. I remember that being a child of the 70s, 80s. There were still hippies running around, and that was a reflection of that. And then there was also a very much Mad Max kind of like collapse of society. Everybody for themselves kind of thing. And then along with that, among that was the whole, there's aliens, obviously. This is the alien invasion, so there's got to be aliens somehow. There's an alien aspect to this story, and I think that if you see through the muck of the bad 1970s TV, I think you'll enjoy it. And Daryl loved it. I liked it for what it was. I'm looking forward to what they can do with the remake. So my pick is Quatermass, and I'm going to give it 3 out of 5 flying saucers.
Nice.
All right. Anessa, what do you got?
All right. So I have an app. Surprise! I found this app on the iTunes store, but it's also available on Google Play. And it's called Aliens Drive Me Crazy.
They drive me crazy.
Ooh, ooh.
Like no one else.
All right. So anyway, the description says the few alien spaceships have crept into Earth's orbit with no warning. The loss of global satellite communications puts the world in danger. Survivors must fight using guerrilla tactics. Take control of your car and blast your way through the city to reach an alien's base. Defeat invaders and terrifying bosses to get access to powerful weapons, cars, and power-ups. So yeah, essentially you hop in your car and you drive through buildings. That totally makes sense. So you're driving along and you smash through walls and you swipe up or down to move between levels. And as you're going through the buildings, you can gain stuff that would improve your health, but you have to also avoid getting shot at. And you can collect coins, and then the coins you can buy like more health or whatever along the way. And of course, with a lot of apps these days, there's in-app purchases. So you can buy more coins instead of collecting them through the game.
What?
I know. And then eventually, like, you get to like these little, I guess it's kind of like an end of a level, not like the huge, like, mega boss at the end of whatever. So you have like these little breaking points, and you go up the building, and then you end up fighting these guys that are shooting at you. And there's a helicopter outside shooting missiles at you, which to me doesn't really make sense, but I just kind of go with it. And then you get up to the top of the building, you get into a door, and then you go up to the next level. So you go through several levels, and then you reach the boss. The bummer, and I guess to me anyway, is the more challenging part is you only start out with like 1 heart. So you kind of got to be careful to not die, which I did on multiple occasions. But yeah, eventually, like, you have to kind of wait in order to play. Otherwise, you have to go and buy coins or watch a video for 30 seconds. So, and that's kind of the downer. But overall, I enjoyed it. It's kind of a ridiculous little game, something to pass by the time if you're in a waiting room or bored. So, and it's free on both Android and Apple stores.
Even better.
Yep.
So how many flying saucers?
Give it 3.
All right. It's a good solid number.
Yep.
Okay, in review, Aliens Drive Me Crazy, Quatermass, and Halo: The Fall of Reach. And we'll put the links to all of our picks in the show notes, and you can enjoy them for yourselves. All right, some real quick business before we get out of here. We have something new on the website that I want all of you listening and watching on our YouTube channel to go to right now. It's GNcasts, that's GNCASTS.com/sign-up. And sign up for our monthly newsletter. Once we promise, you're only gonna find this once a month in your email inbox. And we promise not to give your email address to anyone else. They're safe with us, okay? So again, GNcasts.com/sign-up. Sign up for our monthly newsletter, which is going to be kind of a summary of all the activity over the last 30 days or so among all of our podcasts on the Galactic Netcast Network, because we have a whole bunch of them, and you may not be aware of all of them. So that's a way to get fresh content in your inbox. Also at that website, GNcast.com/sign-up, you can sign up for free. You don't have to be a Patreon supporter anymore to be part of our Slack chat team. So check it out. It's GNcast.com/sign-up. You can subscribe to this and other Galactic Netcast shows by going to gncasts.com/subscribe or search for us on iTunes, Stitcher, or Google Play Music. That's going to do it for this episode of The Alien Invasion, a production of Galactic Netcasts. Final thoughts? Brad, what's yours?
My final thought is Transformers the movie on Blu-ray, September 13th.
Sweet.
I want it for my birthday, please.
Okay, and then I'll watch it and then I'll cry.
Transformers, like the animated movie?
Yes, the
Yes.
animated film.
Not the Michael Bay.
No.
No.
All right.
Nope, this is the one that gives us Rodimus Prime and Galvatron and Unicron.
Galvatron.
Yep.
All right.
And I own this. I remember I was dating somebody and I went to the Best Buy for the first time in La Crosse. And I walked through the soundtrack section and I'm like, oh my God, they have Transformers the soundtrack. And she looked at me and went, "You're serious?" Yeah. So
And that's why you're not with her.
I am not with her for a reason. That just illuminates it a little bit more. The reason why, but no, that movie it's wonderful, and this would be by the time it comes out, it will have been 30 years plus 1 month since its original release in movie theaters.
All right.
I was like 5 when that came out.
Back in my day.
All right. Anessa, what's your final thought?
Nibiru 2016.
Go vote now.
Go vote.
Yeah. Who needs that Trump when you got New Bureau 2016?
I think the outcome would be better.
All right. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We'll talk to you next time.
All right.
Okay.
Bye.